Hey, thanks for staying tuned. Well, Uyo recently witnessed a powerful moment of civic spirit as over 300 young people and community stakeholders marched in the YALI Peace Walk, commemorating the UN International Day of Peace. Now, the messages were bold. Peace begins with us, unity is strength. But beyond the walk, what do efforts like this mean for youth development, civic participation, and of course, Nigeria's journey towards lasting peace? That's our next focus today, and we have joining us live in the studio, the state coordinator, YALI Network Peace Iniobong. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much.
I also have with us Obongawan Aniedi, Inyang, founder Aniedi Inyang Foundation. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you.
Well, when we talk about peace generally, the world over, we know that the youth have a very vital role to play in the conversation around peace and development generally, because they're the ones that have the strength and the vigor to carry on in the activities that may transpire in whatever society that we find ourselves. I'll start with you, Mr. Oko. Talking about this peace walk that you had, I'd like you to bring us some insight regarding what really motivated the YALI network into this particular activity.
Okay, thank you very much. First and foremost, YALI Network is a global organization. And in 2001, there was a declaration by the United Nations that September 21st should be celebrated across the whole world as International Day of Peace. So YALI Network Akwa Ibom, being a global organization, though a minute unit in Akwa Ibom State, we saw it as a need to synergize, raise our voice, and support the peace movements from our homes. So the work was to create awareness in Akwa Ibom State, calling young people to support the peace movement, speaking to the government, speaking to the youth, and also seeing how we can, as young people, support peace movement in Akwa Ibom. Talking about the inspiration, in March 2025 this year, we led a team of YALI Network to Uyo Custodial Center, where we conducted a program we called Prison Decongestion Program. The program was tailored towards restoring life of young people. We had a certain age bracket of people we needed to secure their release from the Custodial Center. So when we went there, we saw a whole lot of things. We saw what young people were passing through because of bad gang, cultism, and other related issues. So that is one of the motivation that inspired us to lead this movement. And thank you for the Onofelo Foundation. Through their support, we were able to release 7 prisoners from Uyo Custodial Center.
All right, thank you very much. Well, I'll come to you, Obongawan and Inyang. This peace walk by the YALI network coincided with at the time when Akwa Ibom was celebrating 38 years. Do you think that this was well calculated to coincide, with the state's anniversary? Is it as significant as some people would want to think it is?
Yeah, thank you very much. It is very significant because even Akwa Ibom State need peace. And when we embarked on that peace work, it was to add to the development of Akwa Ibom State and how far they have come along after 38 years of existence. And everybody all over the world know that Akwa Ibom is an enclave of peace. So adding the Youth Network Peace Day and the International Peace Day to Akwa Ibom State Day was a very significant program. And as you can see, a lot of youth gathered to talk about peace. And we had as a team, Act Now for World Peace. If there is no peace in the world, there wouldn't be peace in Akwa Ibom State. So as indigenes and as people that are doing business here, as people that are living here, so it is very pertinent and important that in celebrating the 38 years of Akwa Ibom existence, that we have to also celebrate the peace that we are also enjoying in the States.
Indeed. Well, Mr. Oko, many people argue that peace cannot thrive in an environment where young people are lacking the basic amenities that is supposed to propel them to the kind of success that they hope to amass for themselves and, by extension, their family and those ones who look up to them. When you look at the Akwa Ibom experience, would you say that enough work has gone into ensuring that the youth population are well carried along, and those aspects of life that are supposed to make them self-sufficient are being provided for them?
Okay, thank you very much. Let's start with defining peace. In my own context, peace is not the absence of war, but it is the presence of justice. What do I mean by justice? Justice in the sense that everyone is given their fair due, and you can have peace. For example, a child who has finished the university, or a youth, a young person who has finished the university and is at home not doing anything. There is no employment, the person is just idle, trying to push through by himself. There are slightest percentage, a very high one, that these persons may go into crime. And you see, when the young people who are so energetic, so enthusiastic, so powerful, so intelligent, there is high rates of cyber security, cyber thefts, cyber crimes, and all that. These kind of crimes are not done by people who don't have something upstairs. It is done by people who are highly intelligent, people who knows what they want. And when you leave them unengaged, you see some of them going to it. I'm not trying to justify young people doing that. It is not good. I frown at it very firmly. It is not good. But again, the government should do more in the aspect of engaging young people. Globally, I like what African nations are doing right now. They are clamoring for the inclusion of African states at the Security Council. You can't take decision for us when we are not given the veto power to also participate in decision making at the UN. Same still boils down to Akwa Ibom State. You can't take decision on our behalf when you don't have our youths being engaged to take decisions for ourselves. I must commend the governor. I was part of a high-level stakeholders that was being held in Akwa Ibom, and on youth development. I was part of that delegation, and I will also plead for implementation, because we have had series of meetings, series of policies, but the implementation are not there. So I would ask the Akwa Ibom State government to do more on implementation of youth policies.
All right, Mr. Oka, I'll still stay with you. Now, I'd like you to give us some insight regarding the ANSARS that took place some years back. Do you think that Nigeria as a whole, and indeed the Niger Delta region, has learnt anything from that particular demonstration? That was a defining moment for Nigeria as a country. And when we talk about the conversation around peace, you cannot leave out that significant demonstration, that fateful day. Do you think that the nation since then has learnt enough and is truly championing the cause of youth development for the kind of peace that we hope to achieve?
In a country where you have a high percentage of persons being young people, I think more should be done. More should be done. Recently, in which country is that, the Gen Zs went on the streets and a lot of things happened. If the Nigerian leaders do not look into the issues of young people, we are afraid that may happen in Nigeria, but we are not calling for that. But we are calling on the government to bring up measures that they can address these issues. NSAS was swept into the carpet. They have not addressed the issues that the young people asked them to do during the NSAS protests. A lot of things has not been done. The police are still harassing young people.
But there were some reforms regarding that. I mean,
I was part of the reforms meeting last week. The police reforms, I was part of the meeting. I told the police what we want as young people. They should stop harassing young people. They shouldn't be searching our phones.
But then the police, in their defense, would say that those searches are actually unauthorized.
Yes, it is unauthorized. It is unauthorized by the police force, but the policemen are doing it.
So in your opinion, what do you think are those steps that must be taken towards curbing such illegal activities that youths have to be subjected to? Because I mean, it is now a trend. When a young person is successful, the first thing that an average security personnel would want to raise is how is he making his money, forgetting that the world is a global village now, and even young people are aware of these things and are able to really make ends meet. Where is the gap? And do you think that personal training in this aspect is key and vital?
Yes, like I recommended to the police commissions last week during the meeting at Monty Suites, I told them that we need a lot of trainings in the police commission. The youngest officer in the police force should be well trained to the highest. The world is going global and the future of the world is AI. So if you don't know how to use these technologies to enhance how you work in your office and everywhere, I think you are lacking behind. So when you see people who are smarter than you using these things to make money, you see it as a threat instead of you to see how to key in and also make wealth out of it.
All right, Obongawan and Aniedi, I'd come to you now. Now, we hear slogans of, peace begins with us, youths being told to champion peace and be ambassadors of peace. But the question now is it truly possible to achieve peace without commensurate action from all bodies involved, especially the government now? What steps do you think you would want to recommend towards ensuring that when we talk about the conversation and discussions around peace, that it is truly carried on with action from all the facets of society that are involved?
Thank you so much. I would want to add that there is no peace without justice. And youth unemployment, and there is a saying that if any person is jobless, it's a devil's workshop. So if the youth are jobless, there's a tendency that they will have to look for a job for themselves. And that is going after people and doing all those vices that are not right in the society. So what I would recommend is that they should put up trainings for the youth on vocational, and they should also empower them. Start up with the economic empowerment, social empowerment, and also educational empowerment. And a lot of people are out there in the streets. They really don't know. Most times today they talk about the issue of youth in climate, youth hub this, youth hub that. We should be able to invest in all these things and be able to bring our youth to the global level where they will work in tandem with other youth and get also challenged. If it is only politics that we introduce to them, they will just learn the idea of sharing money and they won't have anything to offer, and they will go out of their way to do whatever they can to make money. Whereas at the global stage, there are so many things out there for youth to be engaged and get empowered and also use that as their means of livelihood. Climate smart agriculture, like we talk about AI. How many of our youths can really use that? And how is this investment? And if they bring it down, are there follow-ups? And then we need hubs of businesses, hubs of AI, hubs where government will establish at strategic locations and make it compulsory for all these youth. When we were growing up, when you finish secondary school, you need to have a trade before you go into university. But today they turn out a lot of youth that are not economically viable because it is only book knowledge they have. They don't have the technological knowledge. They don't have the training knowledge of how to sew, how to do computer things and how to do a lot of things.
So in other words, it's more theoretical than practical.
Yes, so we want the government to diversify. Let them go into the practical aspect. I must appreciate His Excellency, the governor. He's doing it at API. We want more of that. We want more of that than the sharing of the money. We want that knowledge, the training. We want it.
All right, Mr. Uko. Still staying on the state government now, introduction of the portal system where youth are supposed to enroll and sort for jobs or bid for projects that are in existence. What is your perspective regarding that? You think that it is an effective way towards completely sieving the system of a situation where there's this unnecessary influences when we talk about youth employment and all of that? The governor has constantly hammered on his interest in ensuring that he depoliticizes every of the sectors of government that are supposed to be responsible for employment of youth.
Well, firstly, I must commend the governor for the portal system. Sincerely, the portal system has a way of checking on the government by itself. So by the time you employ, for example, 50 people out of 500 unemployed people, you have 450 still looking at you on that same portal. So you can trace and know the level of what you have done and how you have done it. So it's quite commendable for me. And also, I must also thank the governor for depoliticizing it. I saw a news notification some time ago that the requirements for voters card on the portal has been removed. That is one of the things that made the portal not look serious to some of us. But since that has been removed, I must commend the government for doing that. And also, like I earlier said, we need more of implementation. We need more of policy implementation. We need more of things to be done. We are tired of reading a lot on papers and all that. I must commend the governor again for supporting startups. He's giving funds to people, but again, I hope the money goes into the right hands of people who are actually doing these businesses. But again, we can't talk about peace if we don't talk about climate justice. Peace, it has to do with living in an harmonious environment.
All right. In
an environment where there is no harmony between man and nature, there is no peace. So you see, we in YALI, we've been doing that. In fact, ADBN TV is one of our strong partners. Every last Saturday of the month, we join ADBN TV to go and do cleanup exercises. I am seeing the state government is painting the states orange and white. I will also call on the government to also clean our gutters. We are having a whole lot of flood in Uyo recently. Climate change is real. If you don't clean the gutters, it will flood the road and flood our houses, and that will cause chaos. It is still part of peace. So when we talk about human peace, we should also talk about environmental peace.
All right, I'll dock with you with this parting shot, and then I'll come to you, Obongawan and Aniedi, for your parting shot as well. Now, when we talk about the conversation of peace, climate justice, we can still take out the youths. Now, what role do you think that the youths have to play on their part in ensuring that this course towards peace, towards climate justice is achieved? In 30 seconds.
I'm a very practical person. So when I was saying, I said I love things being practical. I don't like reading on papers. Last year, we embarked on 1 million tree planting projects. I wasn't the state coordinator of YALI then, but I was a coordinator of that project. And this year, we are every Saturday, we join the state government and ADBN to do cleanup exercises. We have another group I belong to, Ambege Movement. Ambege Movement is a movement that wants to ensure that we have peaceful harmony between the people of Akwa Ibom State and nature. So there is a spot at Atiku Abubakar by the flyover down, just by the foot of that flyover. That spot has been very bad. Ambege Movement, we had to engage residents of that area, and we were told that there is a particular fuel station that the owner of that station blocked the gutter using concrete. So when water comes to that place, the water now bounces and flows back to the street, which has caused damage to that road. That is conflict. Conflict to human, conflict to nature. So these are things we individually cannot go and engage. We needed to distill the gutters from that place. But when we noticed what was going on there, it was beyond us. That is the job of the government. So the government should look into that. It is causing a lot of health issues to the residents of that area.
Indeed. Obongawan and Aniedi, I'd like to also have your parting shot on this conversation bordering on the youths and the role that they also have to play in this entire discourse.
Thank you so much. I must appreciate this organization. And last Saturday, they were with us when we were doing the road work. And I want to say that what I want to add there as youth, right now, my organization, Aniedi Foundation, is into youth smart agriculture, where we are planting those crops that they said was not possible in this land. So youths are really very active. They're planting tomato, they're planting pepper, they're planting sweet corn and all what have you. And I want to say that there is no peace without justice. And also unemployment, where it persists, there won't be peace, because an hungry man is an angry man and is a devil's workshop.
Indeed.
So I want to encourage that everything should be done for youth to be engaged, to be gainfully employed, and also to give them a seat at the table. At African Climate Conference that we just came back some few days ago, we are amplifying the voice of the youth. We are quite elderly. Very soon we'll step aside. We want the youth to be properly trained on climate rules, climate policies, and climate dialogue. We want them to be involved. And getting them involved will give us the peace we are looking for.
All right, that's a terrific place to live at. Thank you very much, Obongawan and Inyang, founder of Inyang Foundation, for speaking to us. And to you, Iniobong, State Coordinator, YALI Network Peace. I appreciate you for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
All right. So that's the size of Niger Delta today. Thank you very much for being a part of this one. Catch you again tomorrow for another fresh edition. The name is Xavier Robert. Wishing you a terrific afternoon. Bye.